Dennis Ritchie, the creator of the C programming language, once said that Unix is very simple. It just takes a genius to understand its simplicity. Well, part of understanding that simplicity is knowing and realizing that everything in a Unix and Linux operating system is a file somewhere. Finding files is what the whereis, which, and file commands are for in Bash. I'll start by finding files with the whereis command. So if we take a look at the man page for the whereis command, it is used to locate binaries, source files, and other manual files. So we could use this potentially to find where exactly the Bash source file, the binary for Bash, is located. So if I do whereis and then type in the name of the built-in shell command for what I'm searching for, which is Bash, I could also use a different command like cd and mkdir to make directories. But if I do this, I'll get two results returned back to me. So it says Bash is located here. So this is the binary that's being returned. And then I'm also being provided the location of where the man file is or where the manual files are. So this is fine and dandy, but maybe we're more concerned with the binary. We can type whereis-b and then type in Bash, and now we will get returned back just the binary. Now, a lot of times we're not necessarily worried about anything other than the executable because we want to find out where this particular file is on the system. So whether that be a service that's running on the system or it's a binary that's being executed and we don't know exactly where it's grabbing that version from. Maybe there's multiple versions of the executable and it's not getting the right one. There would be a shorter way to do that, and that would be to use the which command. So if I do which in Bash, I'm just going to get returned back to me the binary. And if we look at the help for this in the man file for which, it's a little bit different than whereis. So this only returns executables. So this is executed in the current environment. So which will only return back executables. It won't return back manual files or source files. So that's more useful when you're trying to find the executable for a particular command. So just a quick recap, the whereis will return back binaries, source files, and manual pages, whereas the which command will only return back executables. Now that I've mentioned the whereis and which command, I'll shift my focus to the find command. Unlike the whereis and the which command that have some constraints on the results they return back, whether they're binary or executable files, the find command does not have that. It returns back all of the files in folders or directories from the search results within inside a particular hierarchy. And how this command is used, if you look at the help for the find command, really all we want to look at is this little section here. So you type find, and then you have these optional parameters, which you can look at below if you want. But what's most important is you have to give it a starting point, which is the directory structure to look at. It doesn't have to be the current directory. It can be some directory structure elsewhere, and then an expression. So this expression can be a file name, or it can be an expression that's using the wildcards we talked about previously. So to give this a shot, I'll use the find command to find all of the markdown files in the current working directory. So period is a symbol, or the dot is a symbol that you can use to represent the working directory instead of having to type out the full path. And then I want to find the files by name. And because I'm going to use an expression and a wildcard, I'm going to enclose it in double quotes. So star.md. And now I'll get back a list of all the markdown files that are in the current working directory. Now let's use this to target a directory that isn't the current working directory and to find a couple files that I have created inside my users directory, my home directory. So if I do the very first part of this equation, remember, was the starting path or the directory where you're going to search. So I want to search home. I'm not even going to search the specific user. I want to search all the users. There's only one in this particular instance. But if there were more, it would be searching for the files in home and all the subdirectories that the different users would have. And then the name of this is going to be file.txt. So you can see that I got one result returned to me, but maybe I don't want to care about case sensitivity. Maybe I came from a Windows world and case sensitivity is something new. You can turn off case sensitivity by putting an I in front of name. So iname for character insensitivity, and hit enter. When you do that, see that I have another file in there with a capital F. Now, the last thing that I'll mention about the find command is that you can filter down by type as well. So if you wanted to find everything in the current directory, this is going to search my workspace of the type directory, I can use D. Or if I wanted to type only to find files, I could do F. But let's put D in and just see all of the different directories that are hidden underneath this workspace. So there's a lot underneath the Git folder, and then there's a folder for the dev container itself for this VS Code workspace. So that's how you use the find command to find files with expressions or names, and then also point them at different directories that are outside the current working directory that you are in.